Now, open nyo ba ang Google Classroom natin?
But parang papat.
Sa Google Classroom, may mga link ng videos, short videos that might help you with your understanding with journalizing, posting, trial balance, financial statements, and post-closing trial balance. Kaya please pa-check po nun isa-isa and then yun po. Pa-PM lang po ako kung wala pa po kayo doon para po maisama ko po kayo. Okay guys, standby lang ha. I'm just opening the files that I'm going to teach for today. So we're going to talk about merchandising. So to tell you frankly, what we did, the activities that we had for the past few meetings, journalizing to post-closing trial balance, it's all is all about service business. Okay, remember there are different classifications of businesses. There are different types of businesses. So we have service, merchandising, and manufacturing. The most basic, well, that is the service business. So that's why service is being taught first in the lecture of accounting, since once you understood the nature of journalizing up to post-closing trial balance of a service business, then it would be easy for you to understand the rest, merchandising and manufacturing. There are only few changes that you will encounter, but still nothing. Um, there will be no changes with the rest aside from few minor changes. For example, in the treatment of sales or in the treatment of revenue. Okay, wait lang guys ha, wait lang. Okay, guys, I'm about to share my presentation for our discussion for today, which is all about merchandising. So nakikita niyo po ba yung aking screen?
Yes, sir. Let me do
Okay, so let's talk about Okay, thank you. So let's talk about merchandising business. So when we say merchandising business, this is a type of business engaged in buying and selling of goods. So not like a service business, wherein that type of business, a service business, wherein it offers his or her professional expertise in exchange for profit. In this case, so this type of business is engaged in buying and selling of goods. So you buy and then you sell. So meron tayong ma-encounter na dalawang ways, dalawang process ng purchase. So there might be a purchase of assets, for example, computer equipments and vehicle, and then there might be a purchase of merchandise inventory. Okay, so magkaiba ang treatment nila pagdating sa merchandising. Okay. One is you purchase for the business operation for the para gamitin ng company, and then the other one you purchase for you to sell and to earn profit. Okay? So just remember that type of purchases, for them to be categorized in a certain account, that type of purchase should be a purchase intended for sale. So there are a few points that you need to remember. Okay? The accounting cycle is the same for all types of businesses, so it doesn't change. From journalizing up to post-closing trial balance, so they are the same. Wala pong nagbago sa accounting cycle. Sa procedure, wala pong nagbago. So you're going to journalize, you post, you do the trial balance, you create the financial statements, and then you do the closing entries, and then this is post-closing trial balance. The only difference is the treatment of some accounts. In the journalizing, especially the income statement accounts, i.e. revenue. Okay. So yun na, isa nga yun sa mga kaibahan ng accounting ng accounting ng service sa merchandising. Okay, there will be an additional expense account in the form of cost of goods sold. So, kung matatandaan nyo, revenue less expense equals to profit. Yun lang yung setup natin sa service. But this time, meron daw additional expense account. So, ibig sabihin, may revenue less cost of goods sold less operating expenses equals to profit. So, tatlo na yung steps. Yung una, asukang. Okay? Yung sa service, revenue less operating expenses equals to net income or net loss. Ngayon naman, revenue less cost of goods sold less operating expenses equals to net income. Okay, so yun yung difference nila. There will also be an account for merchandise inventory. Since sa service, wala namang inventory sa service, kasi nga, supplies lang yung mga yon, di ba? There are different forms of inventories. Pero dito, account title na gagamitin, which is the merchandise inventory. Okay, so when we merchandise inventory, these are the specific items purchased by the company that are intended for sale. Mm. Merchandise inventory, ito po yung mga items na binili ng company para ibenta. Okay? A specific account for merchandise purchased in the forms of purchases will also be used. So additional account title, purchases. Hmm. Ano daw po yung purchases? Kailan daw po gagamitin? It will be used for the purchase of items intended for sale. So, apat na. Doon sa una, okay, sa una, sa treatment ng revenue, kung sa service, service income, or fees earned, this time sa revenue ng merchandising, we're going to use the term sales. Kasi nga nagbenta na. So that is sales. And then additional for cost of goods sold, merchandise inventory, and then purchases. Cost of goods sold, it refers to the cost of the merchandise sold, the direct expense incurred regarding the selling of merchandise. So kaya po, literal meaning definition po, cost, gastos of goods sold. Gastos mo dun sa mga naibenta mo na goods. So that's why cost of goods sold. Kasi remember, buying and selling siya, di ba? So for example, nagbebenta ako ng notebooks. So notebooks, if I'm going to purchase a notebook, that will cost me 10 pesos each. So bumili ako ng 10 pieces, so that's 100 pesos. And then I'm going to sell it for 15 pesos each. So 15 times 10, then that's 150. The 150, that would be my sales. The 100 pesos used in purchasing those items that I sold, then that would be the cost of goods sold. Okay? Purchases, an account is used to identify purchases of merchandise intended for sale. So pag nag-record ka daw, hindi mo daw i-record na notebook, you're going to record it as purchases. Okay? Contra accounts for purchases. O, ito na yung mga additional account titles ha. Una, purchases. Sunod, contra account for purchases. Pag sinabi pong contra nga daw po eh. Contradiction, contradict. O, ibig sabihin, if purchases will be debited, then these items will be credited. If the purchases will cause an increase, this one will cause a decrease. Parang ganun. Contradiction. Okay, una, we have the purchase discount. Pangalawa, we have the purchase returns and allowances. Okay, purchase discount refers to the cash discount received upon payment of accounts from purchases of merchandise. Cash discount received upon payment of accounts from purchases of merchandise. Purchase returns and allowances refers to the amount of goods returned due to defects. Merchandise inventory, it refers to the actual count of inventory intended for sale. So yun po yung inventory natin. Merchandise inventory ang tawag po doon. So the revenue account sales refers to the account used to record revenues generated from selling merchandise. So wala na po tayong gagamitin na service income. But instead, we're going to use sales as long as there's an indication of being able to sold merchandise, then we're going to use the term sales to indicate revenue. There are also contra sales accounts. So we have the sales discount and then sales returns and allowances. Sales discount refers to cash discount given to customers who will pay their account in advance. Sales returns and allowances refers to the amount of items sold but returned due to defects. Madali lang ito lang tanda. Meron tayong dalawang klase ng discount. We have the trade discount and then the cash discount. So pag sinabi pong trade discount, discount is the amount deducted from the actual price before payment of merchandise. This type of discount is not recordable. So hindi mo siya i-record. Ang trade discount po kasi, remember, historical cost, balikan po natin. Historical cost dictates that recording of purchases should be on the basis of the actual cost paid for that item, not on the market, not based on the market value, but rather on the acquisition cost. So, ang trade discount, for example, you went to Baclaran, you went in Baclaran, and then you want to purchase a bag. Okay, when you ask for the price of the bag, the seller told you that that is 250 pesos. Tapos nagkaroon kayo ng ng tawaran. Okay. So ngayon, si seller sinabi niya 200 na lang. O sige, 200 na lang. From 250 naging 200. Okay? The 50 pesos, the 50 pesos deduction from the actual acquisition cost from the actual amount that you're going to pay is called the trade discount. So hindi mo na kailangan i-record kasi nga 200 lang ang babayaran mo. Huwag mag-overprice sa pagre-record. And then, pag sinabi naman pong cash, this is the amount given to a debtor. To urge the latter to pay the account in time. Ito naman yung discount na binibigay sa mga nangutang. Para daw magbayad siya in advance. Okay, remember, sa selling, di ba, meron na naman po tayong mga accounts payable. And then remember, when we purchase, normally in bulk order, maramihan. Especially those who are engaged in buying and selling of goods. For example, sari-sari store. So maramihan silang bumili. And then sometimes, there are cases wherein they will be lost. Kumaga, there will be a shortage of money. So, uutang sila. So ngayon, si seller, maaaring nga gawin niyo, o sige, papautangan kita. Okay? So, maaaring sabihin ni seller, o sige, kung magbabayad ka sa quincenas, bibigyan kita ng 2% discount dun sa babayaran mo. Pero pag umabot yun ng isang buwan, wala nang discount. So, yung 2% na yun, that is called cash discount na maibabawas dun sa babayaran mo if you're going to pay at a certain point. Okay? Sa mga activities, makaka-encounter kayo niya. Okay. So, normally, sa isang transaction ng merchandise business, you notice this credit term, 20, 210, 320, and 30. Okay? So, to read this one, that is 20% trade discount, 2% cash discount within 10 days, 3% cash discount within 20 days, no discount within 30 days. So it means that you will be sa pag-journalize pa lang, tanggalin mo na agad yung 20% ng amount. So kung 100,000 yung actual cost tapos binigyan ka ng 20% discount, so 80,000 na lang ang babayaran. So pag nag-journal ka, debit purchases, credit cash, 80,000. Okay, bawas na. So, ayan. There are also additional expenses in terms of transportation. So, meron tayong freight in, meron tayong freight out, or transportation in, or transportation out. Parehas lang po yun. Transportation in is treated as an additional cost in the merchandise purchase, normally shouldered by the buyer. Freight out naman treated as an expense normally shouldered by the seller. Freight in, freight out. Well, there are also marami pang mga terms dito, pero I'm going to make it simple. Okay? You are going to use the term freight in if the delivery that the company paid is in regards with purchases. Okay? So kung paid delivery expense on June 4 purchase, ano nangyayari? Paid delivery expense on June 4 purchases. So pag tinignan mo yung June 4, purchase na. So ang term na gagamitin mo, freight in. Pero pag paid delivery services on sold merchandise from last week. So pag tinignan mo yung date na yon, tapos yung in accordance na dun sa pagsasell, sa pagbebenta, so freight out naman ang gagamitin na term. Okay? So this, we're going to, let's be clear with that one. Freight in for purchases, freight out for sold merchandise. Actually, in the national assessment or in the discussion of merchandising, there will be two inventory methods that we are going to encounter. And each inventory method has a different ways of treating accounts. We have the periodic and then perpetual. Periodic, yan, kaya nga periodic, period. The amount of merchandise is computed once every period. For example, minsan sa, ano tawag doon? Minsan sa Mercury Drugstore, pag pumasok ka, di ba, minsan sila may mga label-label. Tapos, early out sila, early out, maaga sila nagsasarado kasi bibilangin nila isa-isa. So, that can be called as periodic. For example, once a month. So, that can be called periodic. Isa-isahin nila yung mga items na nandun and then i-count nila, manual counting. Ito namang perpetual inventory, the amount of merchandise is computed from time to time whenever there is a sale of merchandise. So kaya nga perpetual, tuloy-tuloy lang ng pag-update. So for example, ngayon, nakabenta ka. So yung sa merchandise mo, i-update mo na yon yung bagong balance nila. O, ganun po yung difference niyan. And then there are different methods. I mean, each method has a different way of treating different accounts. Later, I'm going to show you. Pero yung mga additional account titles na kailangan yung tandaan. Additional lang po ito Ibig sabihin, yung mga na-encounter natin na cash, accounts receivable, lahat na yon available. Okay? Merchandise inventory. Purchases, purchase discount, purchase returns, sales discount, sales returns and allowances, freight in at saka freight out. Okay? Ayan. So ito naman po ang normal balances nila. Merchandise inventory is freight in, freight out, sales discount, sales returns nasa debit. So tuwing tataas tong mga to, ilagay mo sa debit. Walang purchase discount, purchase returns, and sales. Tuwing tataas naman, nasa debit side sila. How do we do journalizing in periodic? So first, we're going to discuss periodic. The same as when you journalize service business. The only difference is the purchase account. The purchase of supplies means a debit in supplies, a credit to cash. A purchase of merchandise inventory means a debit to purchases, a credit to cash. Yun na yun. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina, na there are different forms of purchases. Pwedeng nag-purchase, wait lang guys Pwedeng nag-purchase ng supplies. If the purchase of supplies is intended for sale, if the purchase of supplies is for company use, then specific debit supplies, credit cash, or kung ano man yung binayad. If the purchases is in regards to merchandise inventory, so ang ide-debit mo, purchases and credit to cash. So specific term na dun sa mga pagpo-purchase ng merchandise inventory. Hindi mo po i-debit ang merchandise inventory but instead you're going to debit purchases. And then, of course, sa periodic, merong additional financial statement, which is the statement of cost of goods sold. So ito, bibigay ko naman sa inyo yung format. Merchandise inventory, beginning, add purchases, less purchase discount, and purchase returns and allowances equals to net purchase. So yung net purchase, tingnan nyo lang kung yung mga pagkakapantay-pantay nila. So net purchase plus merchandise inventory is goods available for sale. Add freight in, total cost of goods available for sale, less merchandise inventory ending, that would be the cost of goods sold. Isasend ko naman to sa inyo kaya huwag kayong mag-alala. Okay, now. So sa mga may basic knowledge po ng accounting, sa may mga basic knowledge po ng accounting, please focus first on merchandising. Focus first on periodic inventory method of recording transactions. Okay, periodic po muna. I'm going to give you an activity, isasend ko sa GC, and then you're just going to try based on my discussion, and then i-discuss natin din isa-isa bukas. Okay? I'm going to send now a copy of what you need to do for the rest of our time. If you still have time and then um, if you have time answering those items, madali lang naman yon. Then you might do it now so that we will check tomorrow. Wait lang ha. So, meron po ba kayong gustong i-clarify?
Wala naman po, sir. Siguro pag ginawa na po yung yung journalizing.
Mag-PM na lang po kami, sir, pag may tanong po, sir, ha. Thank you po.
Oo, you try to do the journalizing na lang, okay? So ngayon, I'm going to end now the session and then hope to see you guys tomorrow again for our discussion with your activity that you're going to do today, okay?